And now, introduce everything. Parody presents 25-erella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young woman named 25-erella. 25-erella had 10 ugly, mean, and wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, and Verona, and Erica. All 25 of them made 25-erella do all the chores and watch her work. 25-er wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tina to Erica all together. One day, the king of Queen Vigitubningham's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear! Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Queen Vigitubningham is going to throw a ball with lots of food at 9 o'clock. At 11 o'clock is dance time, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Queen Vigitubling. Can I come?" asks 25-erella, but she's not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. Tina and Erica are. "He's going to marry me," said Tina, the oldest stepsister. "No way, Tina, you're wrong. He's going to marry me," said Winona. "Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me," said Elena. The rest said, "All three of you are wrong. He's going to marry me." They then tear 25-erella's best party dress. Later, 25-erella is so sad, upset, and distraught about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Queen Vigitubling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts her. There now, 25-erella. I can help with a bit of magic." And so, she chants the magic words. Quintity, vigitantity, quinto, quantity, vigitantity, quinvoo, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, 25-erella's chores are all done, and her best party dress is fixed and grown bigger and better. 25-erella says, "I've never seen such a Queen Vigitubble-tastic gown, and get it out of my glass slippers." But 25-erella, his fairy godmother's not done yet. She said, "25-erella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, 25-erella has 25 pumpkins and 50 mice. 25-erella's fairy godmother chants the magic words. Quantity, vigitantity, quantity, vigitantity, quinvoo, and waves her magic wand again to turn the 25 pumpkins into a handsome coach, and the 50 mice into horses. 25-erella's climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, "Have fun, 25-erella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before." And so, 25-erella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Queen Vigitubling was wondering who he should marry. Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Erica say all together, "He's walking towards me," but he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Queen Vigitubling is walking towards 25-erella. "May I have this dance?" asks Queen Vigitubling. To which 25-erella responds, "I would be delighted." Prince Queen Vigitubling and 25-erella dance happily together. But later, 25 Varela realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quinn Vision Tumbling was so worried that he might never see 25 Varela again. The king of Quinn Vision Tumbling and comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find 20 around, he said. And so, they began their journey all around the neighborhood to find 25 Varela and brought the only glass slipper with them. By the time they arrive, they knock on the door of the house where 25 Varela and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 25 Varela, they find her 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. Tina to Erica. Prince Quinn Vigitani then says, Ladies, my father and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Winona is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits, she said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the Prince Queen Virgin toppling and the King and Queen Virgin telling here 25 Varelas singing. Prince Queen Virgin toppling, is that you? 25 Varela hollered excitedly. And the glass slipper fits! And 25 Varela, Prince Quinn Vidget Toppling, and the King of Quinn Vidget Topplingham lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew's Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents for the free 500 episode special 35 Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named 35 Cinderella. 35 Cinderella had 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. All of them made fun of 35 Cinderella and made her do all the chores. 35er wench, sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said the ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters all together. One day, the King of Quintriger Tullingham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, hear ye! The King of Quintriger Tullingham, His Royal Majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quintriger Toppling. Can I come? Asks 35 Cinderella, but she's not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Tasha, the oldest stepsister. But her younger sisters disagree. They even tear 35 Cinderella's best party dress. Later, 35 Cinderella is so sad, distraught, and upset about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Quintriger Toppling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts 35 Cinderella. There now, my dear 35 Cinderella. She said, I'll fix everything for you. She then waves her magic wand. Because of that, 35 Cinderella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet, she said. 35 Arella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, 35 Arella has 35 pumpkins and 70 mice. 35 Arella's fairy godmother was her magic wand again to turn the 35 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 70 mice into horses, and fixes 35 Arella's torn dress and makes it bigger and better. 35 Arella said, I've never seen such a quinquadruple-tastic gown. And get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? And climbed into the coach. 35 Arella's fairy godmother said, well, you can't. But have fun, 35 Arella. My dear, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. And gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. And so, 35 Arella accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Quinquadruple says, good evening, everyone. Prince Quinquadruple was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Quinquadruple says, yes, father. Suddenly, 35 Arella arrived at the ball. Just in time. He's walking towards me, say Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella all together. But Prince Quinquadruple is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 35 Arella. He then says, may I have this dance? In which 35 Arella says, I would be delighted. And so, 35 Arella and Prince Quinquadruple dance happily together. But later, 34 Arella checks her clock, and it's almost midnight! So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quinquadruple was so really worried that he might never see 35 Arella again. The king of Quinquadruple comforts him by saying, there now, son. I think we'll be able to find my dear daughter-in-law, 35 Arella. And so, the king of Quinquadruple and Prince Quinquadruple began their journey all around the neighborhood to find 35 Arella and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, Prince Quinquadruple knocked on the door on the house where 35 Arella and her 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters live. But instead of 35 Arella, they find Tasha and Ella. Prince Quinquadruple then said, ladies, my father, the king of Quinquadruple, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Tasha is first, but her foot is too big. Hilda is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits, she said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of Quinquadruple and the prince Quinquadruple noticed 35 Arella singing, Your Majesty and Prince Quinquadruple, is that you guys? She yelled excitedly. The king of Quinquadruple says, my dear daughter-in-law, we found you, and the glass slipper fits. And so, 35 Arella, the king of Quinquadruple, and Prince Quinquadruple live happily ever after. The end. Andrew Stewart's, I hope you enjoyed this story. Andrew does everything. And I've been debating on making the sequel is a bit of tradition. So, maybe someday 35 Umbrella 2, 35 Wishes Come True, something like that. And don't forget to subscribe, like it, and Andrew Knows Everything. Buy our merchandise at AndrewKnowsEverything.com too. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew's Doers. Andrew Knows Everything proudly presents 75 Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a plot twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young woman named 75 Cinderella. 75 Cinderella had 11 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Sophia, Estrella, Veronica, Emma, Nina, Tasha, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. All of them constantly made fun of 75 Cinderella and made her do all the chores. 75 wench, sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said the ugly, mean, and wicked stepsisters all together. One day, the king of 75 and his messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of 75 is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown shall marry his son, Prince Quinsapta Gintobling. But 75 Cinderella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, and wicked stepsisters are. They ran with huge excitement and picked out dresses to wear to the ball, but argued over who will Prince Quinsapta Gintobling fall in love with. He's going to marry me, said Sophia, the oldest stepsister. Estrella said, No way, Sophia, he's going to marry me. The rest said, No, Prince Quinsapta Gintobling is going to marry me. Later, 75 Cinderella is so sad and distraught and upset about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Quinsapta Gintobling. Whatever will I do? She whimpered. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts 75 Cinderella by saying, There now, my dear sweet 75 Cinderella. I can help with a bit of magic. Nobody will know it's you. And waves her magic wand. And because of that, 75 Cinderella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 75 Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some ice. Luckily, 75 Cinderella has 75 pumpkins and 150 mice. 75 Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 75 pumpkins into a hamster coach, 150 mice into horses, and 75 Cinderella's attire into a princess's attire, and even a pair of sparkly glass slippers here on her feet. 75 Cinderella says, I've never seen such a Quinsapta Gintobling-tastic gown. And get a load of my glass slippers, fairy godmother. How can I ever thank you enough? And climbs into the coach. 75 Cinderella's fairy godmother says, Well, you can't. But have fun, 75 Cinderella, but I will warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to normal. And gives her a clock to tell her what time it is. And so, 75 Cinderella accepted the warning. At the ball, the king of 75 says, Good evening, everyone. My son, Prince Quinsapta Gintobling, was wondering who to marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Quinsetta responds, yes, father. Suddenly, 75 arrives at the ball just in time. Sophia, Estrella, Veronica, Emma, Nina, Tasha, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella say, he's walking towards me. All together, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's Prince Quinsetta telling me. He's walking towards 75 You must be 75 May I please at this dance? As Princessa Toppling, in which 75 responds, overjoyed. Yes! And so, 75 and Prince Septa Toppling dance happily together. But soon, as 75 checks her clock and it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. The next day, the king of 75 and Prince Quinsetta Toppling began their journey all around 75 to find 75 who captured Prince Quinsetta Toppling's heart and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrive, Princess knocks on the door of the home where 75 and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 75 they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, Sophia to Ella. Prince Quinsetta Toppling then says, ladies, my father and I have a favor to ask. Can any try on this glass slipper? Sophia is first. But her foot is too big. Estrella says, but her foot is too small. Well, nonsense! It fits, she said. The rest did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size either. Just then, Prince Septa Quinsetta Toppling and the King 75 and noticed 75 singing. She looks rather familiar. Prince Quinsetta Toppling, is that you? She hollered excitedly. Prince Quinsetta Toppling says, of course it's me, and my father, the king. And I love you, will you marry me? And the glass slipper fits. And so, Prince Quinsetta Toppling, the king of 75 and 75 lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, interest doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on everything, and buy our merchandise at interneteverything.com. Take care. Bye.